today's episode, Fiona asks, can anyone help with how to set up basic goals in Google Analytics, like tracking social media and clicks to cart? Fundamentally, setting goals in Google Analytics requires two things. Number one, it requires you to know the business impact of the goal that you're setting. And number two, it requires you to understand or know what technical confirmation you're going to need in order to be able to verify the goal. Now, this is really important. If your goal does not have a business impact, which is normally denoted with a $sign, it's not a goal. It may be a metric, it may be something you want to measure, but it's not a goal. Goals have dollars. Period. There are exceptions, yes, but for the most part, goals have dollars. And so if you are setting goals in Google Analytics, at least one of them, and preferably all of them, have $signs attached to them somehow. So for example, if we're looking on screen here, I have a number of goals set up for my Google Analytics account, but these goals have an inferred or actual dollar amount. So if someone's got a shopping cart, the exception is going to be here. You're not going to set up goals. You're actually going to turn on enhanced e-commerce as long as the shopping cart software you're using is supported by Google Analytics. And Google Analytics supports a number of the shopping cart platforms. I use Gumroad, but certainly Shopify and Volusion and BigCommerce and Magento and all these shopping cart platforms support e-commerce reporting. So if you're doing e-commerce, you're going to use e-commerce settings. For B2B and B2C, otherwise, you're going to use goals. Now, how do you know what an inferred value is if you're not tracking an actual dollar amount at the end of whatever process you want someone to take? For example, if someone goes to my speaking page and visits, I have that set as a destination goal, and I believe I have a dollar value of $1 set to that. Now, how do you come up with numbers for goals where there isn't a clear dollar amount? So just because someone visits my speaking page doesn't mean that they're giving me money, right? They have to hire me as a keynote speaker, go through the process, etc. The way you figure this out is over a realistic period of time, 90 days, 180 days, a year, depending on your business. Take the amount of dollars that you earned from that goal and then break it down by the sales funnel. So if I have closed speaking deals as my goal, and let's say I earned $10,000 in speaking, and I had 10 opportunities, but I was only able to close one of them. Each opportunity then is worth $1,000, right? Because it took me 9 no's to get to one yes to get me to that $10,000. So if I have 10 opportunities, and each opportunity is worth $1,000. Now, if I have 100 leads, someone filled out my hire me to speak form, but only 10 of them turned into real opportunities, then that $1,000 opportunity becomes a $100 lead, right? Because again, it takes me 900 no's to get to a yes, to go from lead to opportunity. And now let's say from those leads, that's where if I set up a goal for filling out that lead form on my speaking page, that's where I'd put in that $100 goal, that value of $100. So you see how the basic math works out. Whatever your conversion rates are between the stages in your funnel and whatever stage you can track using Google Analytics, that's where you put the dollar amount. So that's the business side of setting goals in Google Analytics. The other thing you have to do is decide which type of technical confirmation you're going to be doing. When you do goals in Google Analytics, generally speaking, there's going to be one of two. Maybe one of two, but for sure one of two. There's destination and there's event. Destination is a URL of some kind. There's like a thank you page or a speaking page or something like that says, yep, you got to the end. You filled out the form, you bought the thing, whatever, and you're going to set a destination goal. If, however, you have a platform where the URL doesn't change, someone fills out a form or something and the URL doesn't change, then you're going to use what is called an event type goal instead. And an event type goal requires you to set some different parameters and then use Google Tag Manager to say, hey, I saw this event happen let's go ahead and make send a goal notification to Google Analytics. It's a little more advanced. It's not the basic of goals. For the most part, when you're doing goals in Google Analytics, destination goals are the easiest as long as your platform supports them. So to Fiona's question about tracking social media and clicks to cart, those are not goals. Those are activity metrics, and those are going to show up in different places in the Google Analytics application. You can see on-site behavior in the behavior section of Google Analytics, which is on the left-hand side. You can see like what pages are most popular, and tracking social media is an acquisition channel, so you'd want to look in places like source media, like where am I getting my traffic from? Those aren't goals. Now, you could say I want to track the value of this traffic. So if I change in this window here, I change this from e-commerce to all goals, I can now look by channel. Let's switch this to bar graph so it's a little easier to see, and switch this to revenue. And switch this to revenue as well. And now I can see what are the different channels worth. In this case, Facebook, LinkedIn, Facebook, for the new book, of course. This is helping you understand the value of these channels, but it is not a goal. The goal has to be set up with dollar amounts on the back end so that everything else in the application adjusts, and you can see revenue and dollars throughout the application. So really important. You need to know the technical backend of what type of goal you're going to need, and that's usually destination for simple websites. For shopping carts, you're going to use e-commerce. For everything else, you're going to probably use inferred. You're going to use Google Tag Manager, and then the business impact. What dollar signs go with that goal? And if a goal doesn't have dollar signs, it's probably not a goal. And if you don't have a direct line of sight to what those dollar signs are, you're going to have to do some homework first before you go ahead and start putting the goals in. So, good question. More complicated than it sounds, but make sure that you're using it well, using the application correctly so that you get the maximum amount of value out of it. Thanks for asking. Please leave follow-up questions in the comments, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. And I'll talk to you soon. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.